So we're looking at a problem here where we're looking for the difference quotient, and this right here is the difference quotient. Okay, now your question has a g of x, but f of x is the same thing. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take this using baby steps. So we've already got basically the f of x part, which is the g of x. Okay, now what we need is the g of x plus h. Alright, so what I always told my students was we need to use the baby step process. So we look at each thing piece by piece and then we combine it. So you have 5 minus, and in place of x, you're going to put x plus h, just like this. So now that we've plugged it in, our job is to expand this right here. So we're going to expand it. Now you might use the FOIL method, but what I always showed my students was using the the binomial square. So I will write that out for you here. So this is something that you really just need to commit to memory. So if it says something like a plus b squared, you get a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. In this case, you have x plus h squared, so it follows the same setup, and it's going to look like this: x squared plus 2hx plus h squared. So this right here in blue is the simplification of this right here, or the expansion, I should say. And so that's exactly what happens. So what we're going to do is we're going to write this out. I'm going to continue this since I ran out of space over here on this side. 5 minus, and in parentheses, since I've already written it out, x squared plus 2hx plus h squared. Now what we have to do is we have to distribute this negative sign all the way across. Look something like that. You have 5 minus x squared minus 2hx minus h squared. So this right here is the g of x plus h, and now you are ready to find g of x plus h minus g of x. So this is why I'm saying we take baby steps, because we're looking at each component piece by piece. So you have 5 minus x squared minus 2hx minus h squared, and you subtract what you had over here for g of x, and so you have minus, and then in parentheses 5 minus x squared, and yet again you have to distribute. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Okay, so that's going to look like this: 5 minus x squared minus 2hx minus h squared minus 5 plus x squared after you distribute. And then what you do is you check, well, what is it that can cancel out? So you have a minus x squared here and a plus x squared there, and then you have a 5 and you have a minus 5. So when you're looking at g of x plus h minus g of x, which is just a continuation of what we did here, it's nothing different than this part right there. Alright, so what does that look like? That is negative 2hx minus h squared. So now what we do, let me move this up here, you have this, and then you're going to divide it by h. So you're going to divide this by h. So what you do in effect is you cancel out an h here, cancel out this h here, and only one of these h's there. So you are left with negative 2x minus h as your final answer for this problem. And this is leading up to something bigger, and it's leading up to, in calculus, the limit of the difference quotient, which eventually is going to lead into the concept of the derivative. So in order to understand the rest of this, what I'm assuming is coming, you really need a big understanding of what's going on right here with this. So good luck.